Hey Jimmy, I got a new tool in the shop. It's called the BullBat. It's like 250 watts. What do you mean how long is it? It's about 10 inches long. Why would your girlfriend like it? So a local subscriber's wife picked up this BullBat 250 watt inverter for camping and general use. They just wanted to take something with them to have power. And I get it because it's a nice little unit you could carry around, possibly power a laptop, do anything like that. And it seemed convenient for them. Now the kicker of it is, comes with a few things on it that just don't make a lot of sense, and the instructions are obviously less than mediocre. So we're going to go through this, kind of give them an idea how to use it, give you an idea if you're interested in it, but there is something on here that I think most people are going to dislike, at least if you're in the USA. So this little guy has a 257 watt hour lithium battery. It doesn't tell us lithium ion or anything, so it says 500 charges. I'm gonna guess that's lithium ion. It's about 10 inches by 10 inches, maybe 2.5, 3 inches wide. It's really small, lightweight. It has the AC outputs on the back, DC on the front. So we have it charged in, and plugging the screen on this is actually excellent. It's showing us exactly what's going on in a nice color, 77% charge, 39 watts in. We have an output of 2 watts for DC. We're just charging a phone, obviously slow charging this phone. You have a USB-C and 2 USB-A outlets, and then you have a 12 volt DC 2 amp max outlet on the front. That is the same style input that is on the back. So if you are trying to plug this in and charge it from the front, it will not. That is an output. The input is on the back. So to turn things on and off, you have to push and hold these buttons, which can be sometimes awkwardly long. And maybe it's not going to actually turn off with something connected. So either way, the DC is something that I find normal. If you were to buy this unit to run DC, no issue. I'm going to quick turn this guy around, and here's where we get into some weird stuff to me. We have 2 buttons to turn on the AC. We have a 60 hertz and a 50 hertz. So I don't understand why we would have a US plug in the back, which is here, and then give us an option of 50 hertz, because that could damage some items if you had it plugged in and turned on 50 hertz rather than 60 hertz. I could see if maybe it was shipped a lot of places or they explained why or whatever, but there's nothing. So we're going to plug this on. It's just a battery charger. Push and hold the 60 hertz. And it will not work, obviously, while it's plugged in. So with it not plugged in to power, we have that going. And we have a 6 amp charger from a DeWalt, which is going to be right around 1.5 amps for output. So 139 watts right there, 140. Life's good, works, it's good, but shows us 60 hertz. What we need to do is test the output on that. Oh, it turned itself off. So it must have wanted to go right up and do a little bit more charging. Oh, it's back. That's weird, and it also scares me a little bit. Let's get the multimeter hooked up to this guy and see what happens. So in the USA, we have 120 volts that's usually coming through a plug. We're bouncing around between 117, and we just shut down again, which is completely weird, to 0 watts, and then it's coming back. So we have between 117 and 114 for something that's pretty small on here. And I realized that this battery could be at the point where it's getting to be fully charged, so the charger's turning on and off, but normally it does not drop to 0 watts completely, so just seems odd. 114 here is not bad, and we're running 60 hertz. So I wouldn't want to plug in anything too crazy to this, and the good news is if you read the instructions, they tell you on this not to plug anything medical into this. So if it's for your CPAP, it's no, don't use it. They tell you not to plug in anything that is going to be an appliance. Although it's rated at a pure sine wave, they say that because of the inverter that's in there, it is not putting out clean power. So that eliminates a lot of things. And they even talk about TVs that you could plug into this that might end up having lines on them or interference in them because of the power not being clean. So that tells me to use this on very few items that are out there. Maybe a battery charger, maybe a phone charger or something if you had to plug it in and use a transformer to come out to a USB. But this is not going to be for anything else. And besides the fact that it also being a 50 hertz unit, that isn't good either, because somebody could make a mistake and turn on the wrong one. And just to experiment and see what happens here, we're going to do that. I'm going to turn this off. That should turn everything down. This charger is off. So on the 50 hertz side, we are still getting 114 volts. It doesn't seem to be affecting this charger. And I'm okay if the charger battery kind of is not happy, but we're at 0 watts, which is again weird because it is on. There it goes, it comes up. And if we check our hertz, we're at 50. This is definitely not something I'd want to do for anything long-term or for anything that is semi-sensitive. So currently, if you read the description on Amazon, it does not tell you that this is not made for medical things, or it shouldn't be run with appliances, or might not have a great output, which is, to me, slightly misleading, but at the same point, it's 250 watts. And a lot of people do buy these for CPAP units, and I can see that if you did buy it for that and didn't read the instructions, you could ruin a CPAP. I don't know if they're expensive or not, but that isn't cool if you ruin something, especially for the fact that you could turn it on 50 hertz or 60 hertz. The buttons are right next to each other. And for any of you out there who would like to give me an explanation of why they would send one like this to the US with those 2 buttons or the 2 options, I would love to hear it, because I did a little bit of research and couldn't really figure anything out. It seemed like anyone who ran 50 hertz was in another country that had a different voltage rather than running 110 or actually 120 volts. So maybe there is a country out there that runs 110 volts, 50 hertz, and then they just said, hey, we can send it to here or there and just include a switch, make it super simple. But that would mean too that the plug would change, I would think, on the back. So why the 50 and 60 hertz? I'm confused on that. If you're looking at this, again, no appliances. I think it's going to be really hard on TVs if you're going to see the lines and different things. So you're going to run a small TV on this guy. And then beyond that, it's going to take 7 hours to charge this guy, which is what it is. 250 watts is what it'll do on an output. Tell me if you guys are interested in this guy, because to me, it seems like it's an accident waiting to happen. Just my opinion. It's probably a good device. It just, don't give me too many options. Dumb it down a little bit. Make it so that it does have a pure sine wave that's got a good output that you can really use long-term on devices that, you know, you're not going to blow them up, because what kind of reputation is that you plug something in and you say, well, you shouldn't have plugged that in. We told you it didn't have a good output. Yeah, I don't know. Always love to hear your input. Hope this helps not only the person who purchased this, but anyone else who might be looking. As always, guys, give us a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.